we talk about building a Ninja Warrior course, I think for a number of folks, maybe on the people on this call, on this webinar, are seeing the excitement of it, but they have to go back and not only go through a CFO or talk to their insurance agency, but they really have to know the risks and aspects of a safety plan in order to successfully run at a camp. That's a core component of running at a camp. So for you, when you're designing courses, what are some aspects that you look to kind of reinforce safety and making sure that every child is successful and in terms of having a safe experience with a ninja course?
Right. No, that's a great point, and it's a huge part of it because the last thing you want is to have injuries and you know, repeated injuries. Otherwise, the program is going to fail. I mean, starting with the design of the course, and this is a great picture to show it, but you see on the steel on the uprights, which in this picture are gray. So
Yep.
just yep, they're covered with a vinyl pad that says is red and that says chipping on it. So that pad protects the children. So in the event they were to swing into the upright or bang into it, at least that protects them. The boy is standing on looks like it's about a 2-inch thick vinyl padded top. So that box, when they land, that's also padded. And then on the ground, underneath the girl swinging on the trapeze bars, is a red mat that's 8 inches thick. And that's an 8-inch thick called a crash mat. So in the event they were to fall, they have plenty of cushioning underneath them. It's actually more than enough for the height that she's falling from. So we make sure that in between every bay of the obstacle course is a mat. Every upright has padding. Of course, you don't have to get the padding. If you're looking to spend less, you can do without, but I've never done a design without them.
Yeah.
And then the next thing from there is it comes to coaching, right? The benefit of working with me is that not only do I design these and build these, but as you mentioned, I have a gym, I have a facility, and I have coaches, and we have a program, we have a curriculum, and within that curriculum is safety, right? Proper spotting techniques, proper coaching cues, things to keep the campers safe while having fun and experimenting on these ninja courses and minimizing injuries.
Yeah.
And that's something we can do with camps. A lot of times with some of these jobs, we will include a 3-hour kind of crash course in how to check the rig itself for safety issues, how to spot properly, how to set up a lesson plan, fun games to run on the course.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah, so
fantastic.
it's kind of a one-stop shop. Because it's important, you're going to spend this money, you're going to invest this money in a ninja course, and to not have a proper program, would be a shame.
Yeah. I know for some folks, they hear staffing and they hear like a 3-hour course, like they think that's great, but they also know that the world of staffing, staff might quit during the summer or, staffing changes. So for you, like, is there anything, this is kind of a twofold question. Like, is there anything that they should look for with hiring the staff? Like any type of personality? I generally think camp staff are pretty safe. And then the second is like the training wise, like, you really think like like if somebody's onboarded, it's something that could be virtually done or something that can be done locally or you could train a supervisor at your site. Like there's ways to kind of adapt the training as well too.
Correct. Yeah, you definitely want to find someone who has experience with sports, right? To some point, someone who has experience working with children. Of course, I'm assuming any person who's working for a camp would hopefully have some experience working with children. You want to have, good coaching cues, someone who can really, be a presence on the obstacle course and children will listen to. You get someone like that, and then you just teach them the sport and the safety of it, and they'll be successful. I would say that at least one person would need to do an in-person, certification, not certification, but instruction on how to, and
Yeah,
then at
and that's
least,
pretty standard for the industry too, with like
yeah,
archery and some other things as well too.
exactly.
So
Right. So, if we worked with one of the directors, went over everything, and then they can then pass along from there, to the new hires, how to run things properly. And, at that point, once that's done, for me to hop on a call, on a Zoom call with some specialists throughout the summer to fine tune things. You know, maybe they need some help. Hey, you know, we're finding that the campers are getting a little bit bored, or we're having trouble keeping their attention. You know, what are some things that we can do? And you know, I'm happy to hop on calls and do that with the camps.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's when I talk to camps about their concerns about, installing new program wows, for lack of better words. They often are concerned about just the longevity of it. And that's really the like a core component of it. So that's awesome. Um oh, that's great. This we also got a safety question that we'll integrate. And feel free again, if you have questions, to feel free to put them in there. We'll take them as they come as well. So on the taller ramp, can you tell me about some of the safety measures that would be used to keep anyone from falling at that height? So,
Yeah, it's a great
um,
question.
yeah, I'll
You
show
want
a
to pull up
picture of
that
one.
picture?
Yeah, I'll go right now. Yeah,
Yeah, there you
please.
go. Yeah, so you could see on both of those walls, there's a safety railing panels that go around the perimeter, right?
Yep.
So at the very top of that 14-foot wall, once they get to the top, there's a fireman's pole that they would slide down to the lower deck of the smaller wall, also surrounded by panels, and then they would slide down to the ground from there. Now, as far as if they're running up and they don't get to the top, and your concern is if they were to fall while trying to run up it, that comes down to coaching. That comes down to teaching your coaches how to properly spot someone running on the wall, right? There's ways to do that. Typically, you'd want to kind of stand off to the side of the wall, and as someone runs up, as a coach, I would kind of trail behind them a little bit with my hand out, just to give their back some support if they were to fall backwards. Most people wouldn't go flying back. If anything, they're just going to, because of the angle of the wall, they're going to come down fast. But you typically would teach running the wall in stages, so it wouldn't be a surprise to someone what it feels like. We typically do a 3-step process where they run at 50% speed to know what it feels like a little bit, and then we go to 75, and then once 75, and they're also demonstrating proper technique coming down. And then at that point, we let them go all the way up to the top if they can make it. So it's very rare, if you're coaching properly, that someone would just go flying off the wall. That wouldn't happen if you're coaching it right.
That's great. That's great to hear.